G'day, Andrew Murray here from the Apartment Specialist, talking about what are all the costs when selling your apartment. Now this is really important because most owners just think of the commission. They forget of all the other expenses surrounding this. And this is really important because if you're planning to do something obviously with that money, whether it's paying off a debt or to invest something into something else, you really need to know what you're ending up with. So it's about calculating what the sale price is minus those expenses. So obviously the first one is commission, which we all know gets charged from a real estate agent, and that on average is 4% up to 500,000 and then 2% after that. Obviously this changes, and I've done a podcast purely on commission that you can look at. The next one is marketing. Now if you've got to understand, being a real estate agent, half your job is marketing, and that's something that we excel at. And so there will be always a cost, and that depends on how expensive your apartment is. But you should be looking at around about an average, around about $600. And if you're going above that $1 million mark, you'd probably go up to sort of $2,000-3,000. Anyway, and then after that, there's lawyers' fees. So remember that if you're selling an apartment, you're going to have to pay a lawyer to do the conveyancing. So that's changing over the title and all that kind of thing, and dealing with the other lawyer. So if you're not discharging a mortgage, so you've got no mortgage on the property, you're looking at around about $800 to $1,000. Now if you are discharging a mortgage, you're looking up to around about $1,300. Now if you're selling a property and it's complex, maybe it's leasehold or there's a lot of due diligence, maybe there's some issues with the building, I would allow up to $2,000. Now then there's also coming into account if you're selling an apartment that's tenanted. Now it's great when you're selling a tenanted apartment and you can still sell it and you're still receiving that rent through the whole sales period, but remember, once an agreement goes unconditional, and if that purchaser is purchasing it vacant, that means that tenant legally has to be given 42 days notice if on a periodic tenancy. But if that tenant moves out earlier, that can leave your apartment vacant for a few weeks, which obviously can cost you money if you're paying a mortgage or something like that. So be aware of that. And a tip there is, if that does happen, make sure you talk to your agent and they'll get you to bring that settlement date forward, so then you don't incur that expense. Then the next one is quite interesting. You'll actually get some money back in some instances. So now, yes, one of the expenses of part of selling is a pre-contractual disclosure, which I didn't mention, which is charged by your body corporate when selling an apartment, which is around about $250, so add that to the list. But the other part is body corporate fees. Now, if you've paid your body corporate fees for the year, for example, and you sell your apartment halfway through that year, on settlement date, you'll get reimbursed that other half of the body corporate fees. So that means you'll get some money back. And the same goes for rates. So sometimes, especially if you've got a large body corporate fees, that can be quite a pleasant surprise. Anyway, I hope this has helped you realise, okay, there are some more expenses just rather than just the commission, and that you do need to take that into account when planning to sell your apartment, because at the end of the day, it is about money. It's about what's left in your pocket and what you can do with that money. So I hope that helps. Andrew Murray, Auckland's leading apartment specialists. Cheers.